Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some of you. Today we are making the applique, the flower that goes on the squares that we've made last week. And I'm going to show you how I made it. Now these are various. You can decide to make it in two colors or in one color. This one I just made in one color. Depends on what looks pleasing to the eye on that blanket that you're busy making. I did two flowers per row of 12, which is, I would make the square and then choose a flower that goes with it if I wanted to put a flower on that square. Anyway, let's just get going. These are different options. I love the colors. Afterwards, I will put a slideshow of this worked onto the squares where it belongs on the blanket. So I'm using today, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a 3mm hook. You can use any scrap yarn. I'm using double knit, and for this pink one I've used 4-ply. So there's no rule that says how thick or how thin. Obviously the thicker the yarn, the bigger the flower. That's just how it works for anything, So let's just get going. So let's see. Let's start with a yellow center. Shall we start with yellow? Let's see if that color will show nice on the camera. Okay, we start with a slip knot like that, and we are going to chain 5 like this. Come closer and chain 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and connect with a slip knot to the first stitch to form a ring. Come. There we go. Pull that out so that it forms that ring that we want. There is the ring. And chain 3. Like this. 1, 2, 3. And now we need another 14 double crochets in that ring, because we need a total of 15. So that's the 3 chains will count as a double crochet. There's our first double crochet, which counts as a second. And this is the third. I'm just going to do this flower with you. Third double crochet and the fourth double crochet, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 11, and 12, 13, and 14, 15, I think it's 15, and I'm going to count before I connect it. Come, focus, focus. So 1, I'm counting the V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and that will count as number 15. So there we go, and we're going to connect. In the third, no, you see, you can make a mistake. What I usually do is process of elimination. If that is the top of that double crochet, then the one next to it must be the top of the 3. Because sometimes one can make a mistake, which I nearly did. So just a slip stitch, like that. Now that must just stay behind. Okay, now I hope this doesn't blow out and that it focuses really well. So now I'm going to step over. Let me pull it apart so you can see and come closer. I'm going to go between those 2 posts. I'm going to go through, get some yarn and make a single crochet. Now I'm going to make, let me just wind this down a bit, because this just wants to be like that. So now loosely I'm going to make 3 chains. 1, 2, 3 chains, and I'm going to count. There is 3 double crochets. See those 3 double crochets? 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go between the 3rd and the 4th, there where my finger is there. I'm going to go and make a single crochet through, come through, and just lightly. And the reason for that is I don't want it to pull, but 4 chains is too much because it becomes loopy. I don't want the flower to be loopy. I don't want this loop to stretch wide. I want it to stay neat. So that's why I'm making 3 chains, but obviously because we're going in the round, it's going to pull, and I don't want that. So I'm just making my 3 chains a bit loose. So I'm going to, you can see what I'm doing here. It's not, it's like this, a little bit loose. 1, just a little bit more loose than I would normally make a 1 chain. So there we go, 3 chains. And again, I'm going to count. There's my 3. If you hold it like this, you can clearly see your 3 double crochet little cluster that you need. And then between that one and the one next to it, I'm going to go in there and make a single crochet. And just wiggle, make it loosely. I don't want anything pulling. 1, 2, 3 chains, not very tight, and just check for it. There is your 3 double crochets. Go between, make a single crochet. There we go. 3 loose chains, not too loose, just so it doesn't pull. There we go. Count. There's your 3 double crochets. Between that one and the next one, I'm going to go through the 2 posts, make a single crochet. So there's 1 left. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. There is where I must meet up. That single crochet, my first single crochet. So I'm just going to go through that. Go through the 2 loops. Wait, let's bring it closer. Like the V. Go through the V. If it gives you a hard time, you just go and look for it. And then I'm just going to slip stitch. like that. Now you can see it wants to pull. Can you see it wants to pull? Which is why I said 3. But I don't want to make it 4. Obviously, you do what you want to do, but this is how I made my flowers. I want it to be flat. Now I would like to change color because I don't want the whole flower to be yellow. So I'm going to snip and just pull through and tighten. There we go. So this is what it looks like. It's round, lovely, and it looks like you've got there a space. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. See, that's what we've got. Just going to cut off that little end that I've worked in as I went. I've cut that, worked it in. So I think let's go. I want to go with the pink. Is this going to show up on the camera? Yes, it is. Okay, let's try this. Let's just take some yarn off so it won't be rolling in my space like that. Okay, now I'm going to make a slip knot like this. Beautiful. We are going to start anywhere else but where we ended. We're not going to start here. Pick any other loop and start there. So now we're going to make our petals. There, in the loop you must start. So in the loop I'm going to put my hook and make a single crochet. Like this. 1 single crochet. And I'm just pulling it as far as I can to the side. Now I must put in 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. So let's do that. Yarn over and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 double crochets, and I must end off with a single crochet. So I'm just pulling it to this side to make space because they are a bit cramped. So just a single crochet. There we go. Just wiggle, wiggle. Lovely petal. Okay, jump over to the next loop. Go in, make a single crochet. Like that. 7 double crochets. And 1 double crochet. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, and just make a bit of space and put a single crochet into that same place to just end off the little petal. Second petal is made. Just tug a bit on it if you want, but there we go. So I am going to make another one. When I get here, I'm just going to hold it with my loop and work over it. See. So, okay, I'm going to go around and then I meet you here. See, I'm now at the point where this yellow end is. I'm holding it with my loop, jumping over to the next loop, making my single crochet over my loop and that end, and just working it in like that. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Move up a bit, and 7. And I find if I don't move it up before I make my single crochet, then it is as if my last double crochet becomes loopy. It wants to bend. It's not lovely and smooth. It wants to make a loop. There we go. Now I'm just going to let this straggler end drop that way, and I can just cut it off because it's been crocheted in, as it were, and I'm making my last petal. There we go. 1 single crochet and 7 double crochets. 1 double crochet. Come on. You've had your moment in the spotlight. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Pull it a bit. And 6, and 7. Now I'm just pulling it a bit, pulling a bit here, and in the same loop still end off with a slip stitch. Now I'm just going to connect it by putting it in there in my previous single crochet, making a slip stitch. Now don't split on me when we do this. Now there's the straggler end out of the way. There's my yarn, pull through, because I'm just connecting. There we go. And cut. Lovely and tight. And that is my little flower. And can you see how flat it is? Lovely. It's not curling up or whatever. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. There we go. And now I can get rid of this piece that I've worked in. Just like this. And this is my starting point, which I will work in. Like that. And just go through the back loops like this, just this way, that way, this way, and that way. And one more time, return. Don't really have to, because this is going to be sewn onto a blanket, but if you would use this flower for any other purpose, I usually work it in like this, because then it doesn't come out again. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm going to grab a square and sew it onto the square. And I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so here we go. Let's just get rid of most of what we've got in front of us. This is a square. Now, I did explain previously that when I did my original blanket, I actually did it square by square. I would make a square. I would decide what I was going to put on it, whether it would be a little flower or whatever. And eventually I finished all my squares, and then I assembled it. So this is how I went about putting my little flower, fixing my flower on my little square. Now I'm going to need, what I did was I took the yarn. Let me move that out of the way. Let's just get a little bit clearer vision here. Okay, so what I did here was come, need to get to the starting point of this. And how much are we going to need to sew this in? Twice. Let's take twice the length. I think that's enough, like that. And then our yarn needle. Now it all depends on whether you want, whether it matters to you, whether it's seen on this side or not. Sometimes maybe you don't want it to be seen on this side, or maybe you're going to line it so it doesn't matter. And I think I should work, wait, let's not do this the wrong way. Let's quickly work in this end. Now if this was a long end, like I did with most of my flowers, the end is long so that I can work it in, but not with everyone, hey? See, so now let's just quickly work in that end the way I do with all. Come like this. Just go into the back loops. Once, twice, 3 times, lady. Lionel Richie's song comes to mind. Once, twice, and skip one, and there we go again. There we go. Quick and easy. Cut off that little piece. Okay. And put our little end through again. Thread it. Now. Oh my goodness. I took the wrong one. Let's take the right one. This is my little piece off. There we go. Okay. So all I'm going to do is put it on, do I want it in the center, on the side? And I must remember that when I, like you saw last week, when I'm going to assemble this, I'm going to put my hook through, the post of the half double crochet, through the post of the half double crochet. So I sort of need to leave a little space from there in here to know that this space is going to be sewn and this is going to be sewn or crochet together with another square. So it's like a little frame, a little border. Don't go closer than that. Don't go closer than that. And that's where I need to place my flower. So not too much in the corner, just wherever I want to. So let's do this. Grab that needle, and all I did was, you can start anywhere, and let's go through like this. Pick one that has not been worked in, this one. So I'm just going to go like this. Now again, 1, twice. And 3 times. Now this is fixed. And come out here. Just come out here. If you know how to sew this together, you can fast forward. So all I did was I went in the back leg, the back of the V. You see there is a V? I only used the back one, not the front one. I didn't pin it down with a hole. And I would go through the back and pick up, let's work closer, just pick up, say the front loop of whatever. Because then you're not going right through. You're not going right through. Let's go closer. If I'm picking up the front loop of whatever, I'm not going through. That's what I did. So this is how I'm going to pick up that loop, just go through like that, and pick up, let's come closer, focus, just pick up a little loop, my back loop, like that, pick up a little, there I can pick up 2 loops, and my back loop. Now let me just get to the center here, I'm so sorry. Turn it as you work. This is why it's easier to do it when you don't have the blanket assembled. Obviously, if the blanket is assembled, it's already a blanket, and now you've decided to put applique on. It doesn't matter, you know. It's just going to be a little bit more tricky. So there, just take whatever you can. Take whatever you can. And there, I'm just grabbing 1 loop of the blanket that is closest to me and the back loop of the flower, like that. And in that way, there you go, you see. Now the flower will look like it's lifting up. You'll see afterwards, it looks like it's lifting up. But it's lying down. It's lying down. So I'm working in the back loop. So now I'm just going to go through the back loop of that and the back loop of that to sort of hop over, because I don't want it to reflect on the lavender color. 1 thread here into the back loop only. You can go through both loops, you do what you prefer, but this way it's not going to show. See, like that. Beautiful. Can you see? You can't see anything. Looking gorgeous. Grabbing whatever into the back loop only. Not too tight. You don't want to distort it. You don't want it to be too loose. It must sit there for years and years to come. For years and years to come. There we go. Hop over. I'm going to continue doing this for this, this, and this, and then I'll meet you back. There we go. So now I'm left with this, and to work this in, I've ended. Can you see? It's fixed everywhere. This is going to be like this for years. It's quite thick because it's obviously now applique on top of that. Lovely spongy feeling. So I'm just going to go in. Where am I? Let me just bring it closer. There we are. Going to go in there. Work my way through to that side. All the way like that. Now, skip one thread, skip one piece of yarn, work my way back all the way behind like that, and like that. Nice and tight, and like that. One more time, the last time, the third time, remember? Not third time lucky, 3 times a lady. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pull it slightly tight, and tight, and snip it, and then pull it. Now that should disappear, and pull it, you see, so that it disappears. There we go. And that is what you're going to be doing on any square. You see this looks red on the camera, but this is a deep pink, dark pink. But the camera says it's red. It's not red. This is not red. This looks like black, but it's a deep, there you can see the color, deep purple. So, which would actually look beautiful on, let me bring it close. See how nice that would look. So this is the fun of applique, is you can play around as much as you like. Okay, so now go and make as many flowers as you like. I made 2 per row, and we have 12 rows, so I made 24 flowers, and I'm going to now sew them onto the squares and take pictures and make a lovely slideshow so that you can see what my squares will look like, and maybe it will give you inspiration. Okay, so if you enjoyed this little video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment on which color flower you like best. If you would please, I would really appreciate it. And next week we are doing roses and leaves. Okay, bye.